I could actually describe Dream Camp in one word for a child, and or in one. A person, a mad volunteer, knows what Dream Camp is for a child the moment the child gets off from the bus and you tell them it's Dream Camp time, let's enter the camp area. The smile on their faces and the way they run into that entire camp area, and the happiness on their face is what this can actually completely it is what sums up what Dream Camp is for a child. And that is actually, I think, the real thing that we work towards. So all the struggle, all the negotiations, getting all the acts together, getting all the plenary sessions, everything organized, it's all worth it in the end, because you can see it on the child's face at the end of at the start of the camp itself, the moment they get out from the bus.
So the reason why Dream Camp is different from everything else you do at MAD is the major reason A is because it's not in the center. We are taking the kids away for 2 days into like we're checking into like a resort kind of a place. So the major impact of DC is only because of its location, because if you try to do whatever is happening at DC at the center, the impact might not be what you desire. B is because it has got to do nothing to do with studies. These 2 days you're going to conduct these sessions for the kids. They are going to be plenary sessions, they're going to be fun sessions, but it is not got to do anything related to education. So the kids are very pumped because of that fact.
Direct interaction with kids is something I feel makes Dream Camp very special. For most of the volunteer, it's like only opportunity to interact with kids, like PR or fundraising volunteers or other support function volunteers. So for volunteers, that is the one thing which makes it very special for us. For other teams and other mentors and all, it's like a really nice time to be with kids apart from their normal life and in the shelter life. So once kids are out of the shelter and they are in a nice venue, they are in altogether different zone. So being with them in their highest level of energy and enthusiasm, each and everyone feels really nice, and that's, I think, from a kid's point of view, that's the special thing of Dream Camp.
So I don't know if people know this, but there's this phenomenal thing that goes. There's a phenomenal quote that goes by that says that you are confided by the walls that you build. Now, in the case of our children that we work with, unfortunately, they are not the ones who are building those walls that confide them. It's a society that builds the wall that confide them. And Dream Camp for them, from what I see, I may be wrong though, is that those 24 hours that they are in the camp, there are no walls. They become kids. They try to understand what childhood is. They let out themselves, or I'll probably say that they break away from shackles, because they try to reveal their inner selves to people whom it's very difficult to reveal. As a child, you don't know what you're going through, so it becomes really, really difficult to say what you're feeling or going through. But during Dream Camp is when the child actually reveals himself or herself. And I think it's very, very essential for the child to go through that, because though we as people have holidays, we go out once a year, for them it was those 24 or 36 hours. And because of the way the DC is structured, I think it is a phenomenal experience for them. And I think something which we should have, they should be a part of it.
So let me tell you guys one thing. The kids are going to be super excited about Dream Camp. And the reason for that being is they're always confined in that one shelter. Obviously, certain centers have a lot of exposure activities otherwise, but when it comes to something like a Dream Camp, it's like a vacation for them. It's like a mini vacation wherein it's an outdoor activity for which they have to travel in a bus. There's different food apart from the mess food that they get. So their expectation from the Dream Camp is a lot of fun, because that's not something that they have otherwise while they're there in the shelter. And it's our job to make sure that they have fun. At the same time, we want to focus on the fact that there's some bit of learning that's also involved. That's why we have certain sessions that are planned. There's almost about a month and a half of planning that's required to make sure that the Dream Camp is a success. So the only reason why we do that is because it's important that the kids not just have fun, but it's also a learning experience. There's one key takeaway, that once they come back, either they've opened up, or they've had a superb rapport with you across those 2 days, and that's going to maintain, that's going to keep it going for the next 2 years, 3 years, however long that you are with the organization. So the kids have just one simple expectation, is for you to be there for them throughout those 24 hours. Make sure that you're with them at all points of time. You are around them, you're making sure that there's nothing wrong that's happening with them, because the kids are going to go crazy once they enter there. So just make sure you're with them, and that's something that they also want. They also want their bhaiya to be around at all points of time. Just make sure you guys are doing that, and trust me, next year I'm sure you guys will be sharing a video about how amazing the experience was.